Hey, this is Peyton, and I'm ready to rant. And today I'm going to be ranting about the recent Nintendo Direct we got on September 23rd, because, wow, that was a packed Direct for me. The online discussion around this one has definitely leaned towards it being one of Nintendo's better Directs in a little while, and it's really easy for me to see why. This thing was packed with announcements back to back that interested me personally. And I would have made a video about this thing sooner, but I was really busy the past couple days. I just couldn't find the time to sit down and record my thoughts, but I'm finally doing it, so this isn't going to be like a full recap of the show. If you want to see the show, I'll link to it in the description. This is just going to be me talking about everything and anything in it that caught my attention. And I'm not going to waste any time, I'm just going to hop right on into it here. And first up on my list of games I want to talk about is a really good tone setter for what's to come, because it's Chocobo GP, which can be summed up as Mario Kart with Final Fantasy characters. And when I say it's a good tone setter, I mean because I would have never expected this game to be announced, let alone be something I'm actually interested in. But I don't have a ton to say about it beyond it looks cute. The gameplay, again, is very Mario Kart inspired, but that's not a bad thing. What really sold me on this game from the little look we got in the presentation was how it struck me as a crossover kind of like Kingdom Hearts, where it's two things coming together that you wouldn't normally associate with one another. And even though it's not literally Mario Kart and Final Fantasy meeting, it's close enough that I'll probably end up at least watching some more videos on it once we get closer to its release and deciding if I want to play it myself. Looked neat. Skipping over a certain something that's going to come up again later at the end of the video, we have Kirby and the Forgotten Land. And just for a little context, I am not a Kirby guy. I haven't played any Kirby games. The most interaction I have with the Kirby series is watching my family play and adore the NES game Kirby's Adventure. But Kirby and the Forgotten Land is the first time in my life I've seen a Kirby game and immediately been like, okay, I'm really interested in this. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that it looks to be a 3D platformer, which, from what I've seen online, I believe this is the first ever 3D Kirby game. And I mean, you know, we had games like Kirby and the Crystal Shards, but I mean like a true 3D Kirby game, not like a 2.5D type game. And it looks neat. Again, Kirby gameplay has never really grabbed me, but seeing it in this setting, both, you know, in terms of gameplay, where we're in a 3D platformer, but also in terms of literally the game setting, which is this abandoned city, it looks really cool, and I'm actually interested in a Kirby game for once. Following that, we got an announcement for a game that's not one that I'm particularly interested in. More so, I just wanted to comment on the trailer for it. It's called Disney Magical World 2. And again, I don't really have anything to say about the game itself. It's not really anything I'm interested in. I just thought it was funny. I was really tired when I watched this Nintendo Direct. And when this trailer started, the announcer's like, an invitation, and Mickey Mouse is standing there, and he has a letter floating in front of him with a red seal on it, and for a split second, I was like, did they just put Mickey Mouse in Smash? It was so stupid, but obviously it wasn't that, it's just for this game, but I just thought that was kind of funny in the moment. Next, we got a piece of news that's been rumored to be coming for a good while now in regards to Switch Online, and that is they officially revealed there's a new tier of Switch Online coming out with extra playable consoles, and people have been talking about at least wanting this for a while. I think there's even been rumors floating around about it, but I'm not sure, honestly. But regardless, we got N64 and Sega Genesis games, of all things, coming to Switch Online in this new pricing bracket that they're going to reveal more in October. And the lineup for both systems is really good. They got some good Genesis exclusives on there, like Castlevania Bloodlines and Contra Hardcore. And very surprisingly, right after they revealed the lineups both systems are going to have at launch, they showed some future N64 games. It's funny because, like, looking at the N64 lineup they showed, they had Ocarina of Time, and I was like, really? No Majora's Mask at launch? And they revealed Majora's Mask is coming, and they showed a lineup of more N64 games that are going to be coming to the service soon after launch. And one of those games was actually Banjo-Kazooie, which, you know, at this point we have Banjo and Smash, so it's not super shocking, I suppose, to see Banjo continue to appear on Nintendo consoles at this point. But it's still just cool to see that Microsoft and Nintendo, at least with Banjo-Kazooie, have this relationship where Microsoft is willing to let Nintendo use their games on their platforms, especially for something like Switch Online, which, you know, is a perpetual moneymaker for Nintendo, which, I mean, there's still rival console manufacturers, so it's cool to see that Microsoft is allowing this to even happen. Going back to Castlevania for a moment, we then got a reveal for Castlevania Advance Collection, which is going to include all 3 GBA Castlevania titles, as well as the SNES game Dracula X. And it's kind of a sequel of sorts to the Castlevania Anniversary Collection we got a little while back. And speaking from personal experience, that collection turned out pretty good, so I'm excited for this one too. And this is just kind of a PSA to say, if you like the titles in this collection, then it's probably going to turn out good and be worth the money. Back to back with that, we got ActRaiser Renaissance revealed, which is a remake of the SNES cult classic ActRaiser. And what another left field reveal. It's funny seeing Square Enix shine the light on an older game like this that isn't a part of one of their long-running series. To my knowledge, they don't typically do that sort of thing, and it's not like this is like a AAA remake or anything, but it's still a remake of a relatively niche game, and that's cool to see. I liked the original ActRaiser when I played it, and I'll probably pick this one up at some point. A little further into the Direct, we got one of the standard game montages for games that are a little smaller and don't really warrant a full section dedicated to them. And right at the start of the montage, the first named game was Hot Wheels Unleashed. And this game isn't talked about a ton from what I've seen, so I just want to point out that every single track that was made for that game was made with a level editor that the players are going to have access to, which means that nothing is going to stop anybody from picking that game up and creating a course that is on par with one of the official ones, which is awesome. In case you didn't know, I really love level editors, so seeing a feature like this is probably going to make me want to go and grab this game just on merit of that feature alone. And then at the conclusion of that game montage, Miyamoto stepped on screen and said he had some info to share with us regarding the Mario movie. And he gave us 2 bits of info to chew on, the first of which is the planned release date for it, which is holiday 2022. And the second of which was the key cast members that are going to appear in the movie, the key voice actors. And the entire internet has already gone over how insane this casting is. And yeah, it's completely ridiculous. Chris Pratt Mario, Charlie Day Luigi, Seth Rogen Donkey Kong, Jack Black Bowser. I really like Jack Black, and even I'm like, Jack Black Bowser? I've been really skeptical of the Mario movie ever since it was announced. It just felt like one of those projects that was going to be quietly discontinued. Like, we'd never officially hear about it, but it would just kind of be swept under the rug as kind of a, wow, that happened sort of thing. But no, it seems like Miyamoto and Illumination Animation are still moving forward with this film, and it's going to come out, and I just don't even know what to say about these casting choices other than I guess we'll see how it turns out. I feel the exact same about this movie as I always have, which is I just need to see a trailer. I need to see like what is actually going to be made of this movie. And on a slightly positive note, I will say that as weird as I find all of the casting choices to be pretty much, I do like that some of the characters in the film are like Spike from Wrecking Crew and Cranky Kong from the Donkey Kong series. It's interesting to see that they're actually making some deep cuts in terms of Mario characters for this, so there's a little potential there, but I'm not getting my hopes up yet because, I mean, quite frankly, Illumination is known for making very bad movies, so we'll see what happens, I guess. But, I mean, Jack Black Bowser is a thing now, so that's something you can say. And now, finally, this is the only bit of news I'm talking about out of order of when it was shown in the Direct, because I just knew I had to save this for last, because the news that I skipped earlier is the date we can expect the final Sakurai Presents for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, wherein we're going to find out who the final DLC character for the game is. And I thought that for sure we would not find out who this character is until November based on what Sakurai said in Kazuya's presentation. Because when he said it's going to be a while, I was like, okay, there's no way we're finding out any time before November. And no, we're finding out who it is in October. And not just any day in October, we're finding out who this final character is on October 5th. Now, if you guys have seen any of my other videos, it's most likely you've seen my Nick All-Star Brawl videos. And I am very excited for that game to release, and that game just so happens to also be releasing on October 5th. So it's funny because my last Ready to Rant on Nick All-Star Brawl was all about how I don't want to see the Smash and Nick All-Star Brawl communities clash because they're comparing the two games when they're doing very different things. And here we are just a couple days later, and we literally have these two platform fighters with an event scheduled the exact same day. And of course, people have seen this and started joking around that this is Sakurai's way of dissing Nick All-Star Brawl. And while I don't think that's what's happening here, I do feel like this whole thing is just one big coincidence. It is still crazy to see that these two games have something happening the same day, especially because I personally am super excited for both of these games. I obviously can't wait to find out who the final Smash character is going to be, and I really can't wait to get my hands on Nick All-Star Brawl. All I'm for sure of right now is that October 5th is going to be a day for platform fighter fans to remember. And I want to know what you think of all of this. I want to know how you feel about the final Smash character being revealed and Nick All-Star releasing on the same day. And I want to know what you thought of the Nintendo Direct, because I personally felt this was one of the most exciting ones they've done in a little while now. So leave me a comment with your thoughts on everything I've talked about here. This has been Payton, and I'm done ranting.